Hey, BR Tidwell 55 here. Going to take another stab. Hopefully, it sounds a little bit better. Talking about a little bit about the Linux family tree and different Linux distributions. So, with no further ado, here's my chart. Okay, here we have a fairly simplistic Linux family tree. It's sort of shows the pedigree of the various versions, flavors, distributions of Linux that are out there. Uh, There, right underneath the title, you can see my source for this chart. Uh, Basically, as you may or may not know, there's a lot of different distributions of Linux out there, but there are three main families of Linux distributions. You've got your Slackware family, your Debian family, and your Red Hat family. Now, Slackware itself is still a viable Linux distribution, very minimal, has a lot of spin-offs. One of the things that will characterize your Slackware uh, Linuxes is the fact that they use various package managers. Some use no package manager at all. Uh, a package manager, and if you're not familiar with Linux, that's a way that you can use to install software similar to .msi or .exe installer that you find in a Windows environment. Uh, like I said, Slackware is very minimal. Some of them will use the RPM package manager. Some of them will use the Deb package manager. Some of them don't use package managers at all. You compile everything from source. My apologies if I don't have your favorite flavor of Linux on here. There's just not room on the chart for everything. Uh, another another family of Linux distributions are your Debian distributions. A lot of Debian distros out there, to include FreeSpire, Ubuntu, Knoppix, uh, just and of course Debian distros use the Deb package manager. Uh, Ubuntu is known to be extremely easy to use. Several spin-offs of Ubuntu, some of them sponsored by the company that made Ubuntu canonical, to include Kubuntu, which is a KDE version of Ubuntu. Linux Mint is a distribution derived from Ubuntu. Ubuntu being easy to use, Linux Mint takes that ease of use even further. They're also worth mentioning is GNU Sense, which is an Ubuntu-derived distribution that has absolutely no non-free software in it. Free software. It only includes software that is free by the Free Software Foundation's definition of software freedom. And then you have the Red Hat distributions. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, just like the name says, it's an enterprise targeted distribution that's used mainly. You'll find Red Hat mainly on servers. Several distros have descended from Red Hat to include Mandrake, PC Linux OS, CentOS, Fedora, and Fedora Core. So, and of course, there's tons more out there, but like I said, most of them are derived from these three main distribution families. So, when you hear people talk about Debian or Red Hat or Slackware, then you'll kind of hopefully have a little bit of better idea where. Okay, so hopefully you have a little bit better idea now where different Linux distributions come from. I know that that chart looks a little chaotic because there are a lot of different distributions out there, but basically they sort of grow organically. Someone who knows how to program knows how to spin a Linux distribution, take something he likes, tweak it, add or maybe take away some stuff to tune it more to their liking. They think other folks will like it, and they spin it out, and there's a new Linux distro. You want to know more what's going on in the Linux world distribution-wise, there's a great website called distrowatch.com. Is a good one. Just Google Linux and you'll get all kinds of good information. Well, hopefully the sound's a little bit better on this one. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something you didn't know. And as always, feel free to comment. And if you think if I didn't get something quite right, I'm always open to correction. Uh, this makes us all a little bit smarter. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.